Real Health Transformations is a podcast for the woman I once was and the woman I'm still becoming. It's for the new mom trusting her instincts, the seasoned mom questioning the science, and the party girl ready to trade Sunday scaries for sourdough starters. It's for the woman who's wrestled with weight, trauma, chronic illness, and the struggle to find balance in motherhood, career, and life. I'm your host, Holly Jean Mullen, a functional wellness practitioner and holistic real estate specialist. You are the expert on your body, and this show is here to help you cut through the BS, connect the dots between your health and your home, and find simple strategies that actually work for you. We'll have real conversations that matter, challenge the status quo, and keep it simple. If you're craving a calmer home, a clearer mind, or a healthier body, you're in the right place for real solutions, real encouragement, and real transformation. Hello. Welcome back to the Real Health Transformations podcast. I'm Holly Jean, your host, and today I'm inviting you to pull up a chair. We're going to get cozy. We're going to have a heart-to-heart. It's overdue. I'm going to talk to you like you're my best friend, and we're just sitting on the couch or sitting on the back patio, and we're going to have some girl talk about all the things that you've been telling me lately. You've been telling me about how your energy's been all over the place, those mood swings that just sneak up out of nowhere, the weight that's been stubborn no matter what you do. I know you're doing all the things, and let's not even get started on that hormonal roller coaster that we've been referring to as the P word, perimenopause. I've been throwing that around. I know it's a lot and I get it. So, good friend, good buddy, old pal, here's something that I think we really need to talk about in relation to all these things. And it's sugar. And not just the spoonful of maple syrup you're putting in your coffee or the occasional treat, though those do play a part. But I specifically want to talk about how blood sugar, the ups, the downs, and the everything in between might be at the root of all these symptoms you're dealing with. Because you see, my friend, when your blood sugar is out of whack, it's like a domino effect. Your energy crashes, your mood swings like a pendulum, your hormones, girl, they're just trying to keep up with the chaos. And in the stress and anxiety of juggling everything in your life, you've got family, work, house stuff, sports, social life, homeschool, homesteading, adulting. Don't forget self-care. You got to squeeze that in there somewhere. And if you're like me, I know you are because we're friends. So we have all those DIY projects on our dream board on Pinterest that we're just dying to get to. So it's no wonder that your body feels out of balance. Because here's the thing. It's not just about gaining weight or indulging in a treat. Sugar can disrupt everything from insulin to estrogen, testosterone, even your thyroid hormones. So let me break it down a little bit more for you because I really want you to understand this. And I want you to feel my heart telling you all this because I feel like when sugar is brought up, it's just kind of skirted aside. But when your blood sugar spikes, your body releases insulin to help manage it. But when insulin is constantly elevated, it can throw off other hormones too. Insulin is a hormone. For example, high insulin can lead to estrogen dominance. I know you've heard that expression. That can lead to symptoms like PMS and the weight gain and the mood swings and those crazy cravings that you're having around your cycle. It's also going to increase cortisol, your stress hormone, which then disrupts other hormones like progesterone and your thyroid hormones. This creates that domino effect. It's making it harder for your body to stay balanced. So managing your blood sugar isn't just about avoiding diabetes, which is why I feel people ignore it or think that it's just blown out of proportion, but it's not. It can very well be at the root of all these symptoms you're dealing with. And like I said, it's just this domino effect. When your energy crashes, your mood swings around, like it's just a mess. It's just a mess. So we can't ignore insulin. We can't ignore sugar when we're trying to fix everything else, because sugar could very well just be the root of it. So this is also why we're so inflamed, why the weight won't budge no matter how hard we try, why healing feels like it's this never-ending uphill battle. It's why you're feeling burnt out, like you're running on fumes, like you have zero energy left to give, maybe even zero F's left to give at this point. It's why you're on edge. It's snapping at the smallest things, struggling to get a good night's sleep. And that's why anxiety is also starting to creep in. And it's kind of feeling like it might be a new roommate in our minds, right? Maybe you've never had anxiety before, but all of a sudden there it is now. We also need to talk about what sugar is doing to our nervous system. It's just trying to keep up with the chaos. So when we're trying to fix our liver, because everything online is saying, oh, you got to heal your liver, fix your liver, deal with your liver. Oh, no, it's your gut. You got to heal your gut. Or here, balance your hormones. When your blood sugar is out of control, it's like trying to run a marathon while carrying a toddler on your back. It's exhausting. It's overwhelming. It can make every step forward seem like a huge effort. We're making all these other things, all those other areas that you're trying to improve and make better. It's the same thing. We're making it harder. It doesn't have to be that way. So here we are, girlfriend, just chit-chatting. And I need to say this stuff, and I need to put it in a way that you have to understand, because I care about you and I've been there, and I see this being a huge disconnect, missing piece, and something that too many women just have blinders on. Sugar and insulin. They're like that pair of super cute but ridiculously uncomfortable shoes. The ones I used to wear clubbing. You know the ones. They look amazing. They might even make you feel fabulous, but only for a little while. And deep down, you know they're causing more harm than good. If you keep wearing those shoes, hoping that you're going to break them in or that the pain is worth it, you eventually realize that these shoes aren't doing you any favors. It's time to just kick them off, start choosing what truly supports you. You deserve comfort, strength, and health that lasts. And you've got the power to make that choice, to take control of your well-being for the long haul. And we're going to start with sugar. Have you noticed, I've noticed, so I'm asking if you've noticed, have you noticed more frequent chats between you and other friends having to do with PMS, hormonal stuff, maybe even, like I mentioned, that perimenopause word? No way, I'm much too young for that. Ladies, it can start in your mid-30s and it can last for several years. But perimenopause, menopause, PMS, what do they all have in common? Blood sugar imbalances, insulin issues. I'm hearing from women all the time who are seeing major improvements in their hormonal health just by focusing on insulin and blood sugar balancing. We're talking things like, oh, hey, I'm off all my hormone replacements, or my period symptoms and cramps are completely gone, and I have energy again. I wake up without brain fog or grogginess. And it's not just one type of woman. These are women of all ages, all stages of life, from Kristen in her early 30s to Nikki in her early 50s to Deborah in her late 60s. Hello, gals. Shout out to my awesome clients with these honorable mentions. These are things my clients have actually said to me. These are real people. Now, I'm not saying blood sugar issues are the only cause for PMS, and that's the only thing contributing to the woes of perimenopause symptoms, but they sure can make it worse, because During perimenopause, our hormone levels start to fluctuate, which can make us more sensitive to blood sugar changes. And as estrogen and progesterone start to dip, our bodies can become less effective at managing blood sugar. So that is why it seems like you're having a harder time now, because before you were managing just fine. But now, as other hormones are starting to fluctuate, it's making things more complicated. The sensitivity means that even small spikes in blood sugar can lead to bigger issues like the weight gain, the mood swings, the fatigue. So if you're in this stage of life, keeping your blood sugar stable is even more crucial to managing those frustrating symptoms. All right, so let me back up and start a little bit more at like the basics. What exactly is blood sugar? I know that you know what blood sugar is, but I want to make sure that you understand. Like, you need to understand this. You can't see me, but I'm grabbing you by the shirt and I'm shaking you because you need to understand this. Stop zoning out when someone says or when I'm telling you it's blood sugar. Because when we talk about blood sugar, we're really talking about the amount of glucose in your blood at any given time. Now, glucose is a major source of energy for our bodies. It comes from the food we eat, especially carbohydrates. That's not the only place. Our body can also make it, but we'll come back to that. Now, when you think about carbs, you might picture things like bread, pasta, desserts, the usual suspects, but it's also in fruits and your green juice and wine and alcohol and even some veggies. So when you eat or drink, your body breaks down these carbs into glucose, which then enters your bloodstream. Now, this is where insulin comes into play. Like I said, insulin is a hormone. Insulin is a hormone. It's produced by your pancreas. It acts like a key that unlocks your cells. You may have heard this analogy before, but this key unlocks your cells. It allows glucose to move from your blood and into your cells. It's used for energy. So after you eat, your blood sugar levels rise, your pancreas releases insulin, and that insulin helps shuttle the glucose into your cells. And once the glucose is in your cells, your blood sugar levels should start to drop back down to normal. Should. Here's the catch. If your body is constantly dealing with spikes in blood sugar, like after downing a Frappuccino or eating the crusts off your kid's PB&J or pizza. Do you call pizza crust bones in your house? That's what we call them. They're the pizza bones. Anyways, when you're eating those carbs, your body has to pump out more and more insulin to keep up. And over time, your cells can start to resist that insulin, meaning glucose has a harder time getting into your cells. Since the glucose is the energy and it's not getting in, that's why you're tired. I like this analogy. I'm borrowing it from my friend, Dr. Dawn Klum, this egg carton analogy. So if you imagine your body like a standard egg carton, it holds 12 eggs, right? Each time you eat, it's like adding an egg to the carton. But if you're constantly snacking on carbs and food with sugars in them, it's like trying to cram in extra eggs. You're trying to put in a 13th egg. You're trying to make a baker's dozen out of eggs, but the carton's already full. Your body isn't egg resistant. It's just that there's no more room in the carton, right? So insulin resistant, yes, that's the term, but it's not painting a clear enough picture. It can't get in. So what happens? Your blood sugar levels stay high because there's nowhere for the extra glucose to go. And this leads to those rising fasting glucose numbers, an increase in your hemoglobin A1C numbers. That's signaling to your body that this is a signal like from your body, like, hey, we're having a hard time keeping up. When you start seeing those rising numbers, this is what's happening. Your egg carton is full. So what makes this even more frustrating is when your blood sugar spikes and then crashes. It's like riding a roller coaster you never wanted to get on. For me, that roller coaster is hang time at Knott's Berry Farm. Never again. Never again. When you're eating something sugary or carb heavy, like my personal favorite, bottomless chips and salsa, throw in a watermelon margarita, or maybe you're having a cupcake at a birthday party or a mid-morning smoothie, your blood sugar shoots up quickly. I throw in the smoothie because I often get asked, well, what about fruit? What about fruit? Fruit's healthy. Yeah, fruit has healthy qualities, healthy polyphenols, some micronutrients, but not when you are having blood sugar and insulin problems, because it's doing the same thing. You're still getting a spike. This sudden spike sends a signal to your pancreas to release a bunch of insulin to get that sugar out of your blood and into your cells. But sometimes your body releases more insulin than it needs. And then your blood sugar drops too low. That's when you get that crash. That's when you start to feel tired and cranky, maybe even a little shaky or lightheaded. We all know that person who gets hangry. That is classic blood sugar imbalance. When I meet a hangry person, all I want to do is say, call me, I can help you. But that's weird. I can't do that. But what does it do when your body, when you crash that low, your body craves more sugar, more carbs. You want the afternoon coffee drink because you're trying to get that blood sugar back up, which is just putting you right back on that roller coaster of the highs and lows and the dips and crashes. This cycle of spiking and crashing is exhausting for your body. Leaves you feeling drained and moody and just constantly reaching for more quick fixes like the snack or like the caffeine. And it just keeps this cycle going. It's like trying to force more eggs into that already full carton. It's not going to work, and it's just going to make a mess, and it's just going to make things worse. So what's the solution? You can't keep cramming more eggs into an already full carton, just like you can't keep adding more glucose to your cells. Instead, you need to stop bringing in more eggs. So stop eating more carbs. Stop eating carbs. You need to focus on creating a bigger carton, which really we can increase our body's ability to store glucose. Here's how that works. When you eat carbs, your body breaks them down into glucose. Your body's either going to use it immediately or it's going to store it in our liver and in our muscles as glycogen. The liver's job is to keep your blood sugar stable between meals, while your muscles store glycogen for energy during movement and exercise. To help your body store glucose more effectively, you can try fasting or you can try eating within shorter eating windows. This can allow your liver to burn through its glycogen. That's going to lower insulin levels and improve how your body handles sugar. You can add in regular exercise, especially strength training and walking. Do not underestimate the power of going for a walk after eating. It is magic for reducing blood sugar levels. But these things, if you're using your muscles, if you're strength training, you're going to create more storage capacity for your muscles to be able to hold on to glycogen. By focusing on blood sugar friendly eating, that means lower carbs type eating, more balanced meals with proteins and fats and fibers, regular exercise to increase glycogen stores, then tapping into ketones from fat burning as an alternative energy source. By doing that, you can boost your body's ability to manage glucose, making it easier to control blood sugar and support weight loss. In the next episode, next week, I am speaking more specifically into these strategies and we'll dive deeper into ketones and ketosis as a vital metabolic state. A keto diet is a therapeutic and healing dietary strategy. It's in perfect alignment with our body's innate natural design. We are meant to fast. We are meant to have periods of nutritional ketosis. Keto is not just another fad diet. I don't care what influencer tells you, what guru tells you, what magazine cover tells you. Keto is not just a fad diet. So be sure to come back next week for all that jazz. But back to you, friend, back to the here and the now. By changing how you think about blood sugar, by changing how you eat with blood sugar and insulin control in mind, you can step off of that blood sugar roller coaster. You can start feeling more balanced, more energized, and more in control of your health. And really, isn't that what we want? The most frustrating thing, the most frustrating feeling is to have stuff going on in your body and with your health and with symptoms and not knowing what to do about it, not knowing how to fix it, not having answers, and just feeling helpless and out of control. So as we're going back to what this has to do with you, specifically your symptoms, your hormones, your stubborn and frustrating weight gain, you've likely heard about blood sugar dysregulation or insulin resistance being linked to PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids, even dementia. I mean, Alzheimer's being referred to now as type 3 diabetes. So it's really not too much of a stretch to think also that hormones are at play here. Like, it's not too much of a stretch to think that when we start to experience those perimenopause symptoms or anything like cycle related, that it could have a connection, right? There's a connection here. If insulin's a hormone, if all these other things are linked to hormones and blood sugar, they all go together. We can't separate them, guys. So how are your hormones doing these days? Do you think blood sugar imbalances or insulin resistance could be a factor in your various hormone and body symptoms? One, we can kind of start to figure this out if you pull up your body wisdom journal, look at your food log, pay attention to what you're eating, your energy, your symptoms, your macronutrients. Are your meals carb heavy or are your days carb dominant? If you have your NAC, your nutritional assessment questionnaire, are you high on the chart or even off the chart in the blood sugar column? It is rare that I get a client who is not presenting with some level of blood sugar imbalance. If this shows up in your assessment, this is an absolute top foundation you must address, starting with food and diet. Save your money on all the expensive functional lab tests if you are not addressing diet for blood sugar and insulin. That is step numero uno. So how do you know if you have insulin resistance? There are some key markers, including a blood glucose level over 86. Now, these are functional numbers. Blood glucose over 86, that's going to indicate an increase in health risks. If you are between 100 and 125, that is getting into pre-diabetes range. Over 126 is indicating type 2 diabetes. For women, a waistline over 33.5 inches signals insulin resistance. Over 35 inches indicates metabolic syndrome. I'll talk about what that is. For men, it's 38 and 40 plus inches. Difficulty losing weight, that is one of the signs. It's not the only sign of insulin resistance, but it is usually the one that gets people starting to ask questions. Blood pressure readings of 120 over 80 or higher, triglycerides over 100, low HDL cholesterol, those are also signs. Additionally, low levels of vitamin D, testosterone, estrogen, thyroid hormones, uric acid levels over 3, that can be a marker of insulin resistance as well. Vitamin D and insulin have an inverse relationship. As insulin goes up, vitamin D goes down. Metabolic syndrome is like having a warning sign. Your body is sending signals. It's saying, hey, there's some health things going on here, like the extra weight, the high blood pressure, the creeping blood sugar levels. when these issues start piling up, it's called metabolic syndrome, and it affects about 25% of adults worldwide and about 34% of adults in the US. I have heard statistics way higher than that. These are conservative numbers because I just never know with statistics, right? Sometimes I just think they get pulled out of someone's A, if you know what I mean. But metabolic syndrome, this condition puts you at higher risk for serious problems, more along the lines of heart disease, stroke, diabetes. It's all just kind of paving that disease highway. 80% of the damage from type 2 diabetes happens before blood sugar even crosses that normal range. And getting diagnosed in your 40s can shorten your life by 12 to 14 years. Here's good news. We can change things with some lifestyle and dietary tweaks, getting more active, working with a practitioner who's knowledgeable in this stuff and can guide you, because there are so many people out there just giving wrong advice. I would say bad advice, but bad advice would even be better than just straight up wrong, in my opinion. But to make this a little more personal, I have to share this with you. The first time a doctor told me that I was pre-diabetic was after Sawyer, my second son, was born in 2014. He's almost 10 now. I didn't believe her back then, even though I had genetic predisposition, I had other health issues that pointed to blood sugar imbalance. I thought it was just a fluke because in that time in my life, I had all sorts of health stuff going on. If you listen to an earlier episode where I talked about how I was so inflamed and in pain, I couldn't even hold my baby, it was that stuff going on. So I just thought, that's not what I'm here for. That's not what it is. That's just off because of this other stuff. So that's how I know, ladies, how easy it is to ignore the blood sugar stuff or to just write it off as not that big a deal, because I did. Then fast forward to January 2024, this year, I'm 44 years old. I was 50, 60 pounds overweight, clinically obese with very well like type 2 diabetes. I did not have a actual diagnosis, but my fasting glucose levels were regularly over 130. All because I didn't truly grasp the impact of blood sugar on my health. Now, I should know better, right? I should know better. Now here I am, almost 45, and I'm thinking about the future. If a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes in your 40s can shorten your lifespan by 12 to 14 years, what does that mean for me? In 10 years, Wyatt, my older son, will be 23. I'll be 55. Let's say he meets the love of his life. Of course, she'll be a pure blood, like homeschooled freedom warrior daughter, probably. Let's say he meets this young lady. They get married, and I become a grandma at 62. But instead of living to 90, I might only have 14 years with that grandbaby, because I've lost years off my life because of not taking my blood sugar seriously. I might not see them graduate high school or be at their wedding. When we're trying to make changes, especially for our health, we need a strong why. That's what keeps us going when things get tough. And for me, my why is the thought of not being there for my kids and my grandkids because of something I could have controlled. That thought kills me, and it's what drives me now. If you heard the expression, your why should make you cry, I have cried a couple times thinking about the future and this, and not because I was just hormonal from my period. Like, it really does. Like, I know people say they'll kill for their kids. I would do anything for my kids. I'll kill for my kids. Will you live for your kids? Will you value your health and take it seriously for your kids? I don't want to die for our kids. I want to live for my kids. So I hope this drives home the importance of managing blood sugar and insulin, because the impact they have on our health and longevity is far too significant to ignore. And it goes beyond just wanting to lose some weight. It's much deeper than that. So I hope you're starting to just realize that blood sugar dysregulation and imbalances, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, they can be the root cause problem, even if you do not eat a bunch of junk food or sweets, even if you eat clean, organic, whole foods from the most pristine sources. This can still affect you. Even if you're eating a healthy diet, blood sugar imbalances can sneak in, especially if you're dealing with factors like stress, lack of exercise, or just your body's natural tendencies. We're talking about genes, our DNA, but also stress hormones like cortisol that can spike your blood sugar. Not moving enough can make your body less responsive to insulin. Even healthy foods, if not balanced properly, can cause your blood sugar to swing, which throws everything off. When your blood sugar is all over the place, it triggers inflammation in your body. Chronic inflammation can make you feel worse, especially during perimenopause when your hormones are already fluctuating. It can lead to joint pain, make it harder for your body to heal, and exacerbate all those symptoms you're already struggling with. Now let's talk about the weight, because I know that's what a lot of you struggle with. That's usually what it is when clients are coming to see me. It's the weight loss resistance, the low energy, the brain fog. When your blood sugar spikes, your body is pumping out insulin to manage it. We've covered that. When this happens too often, you become insulin resistant. Again, we've covered that. I'm repeating myself because I want it to sink in. When you become insulin resistant, it means your body is more likely to store that glucose as fat, especially around your belly. This makes losing weight incredibly difficult, incredibly frustrating, because even if you're eating well and exercising, it's like your body is stuck in fat storing mode. It's especially tough during perimenopause when your hormones are already fluctuating and out of balance. Speaking of hormones, unstable blood sugar can send our hormones into a tailspin. And I want to make sure you're just really understanding this. I know I am repeating myself here because I just want it to sink in. Okay? When your blood sugar drops, your body's going to release cortisol. You hear about cortisol all the time, and it's painted as being like this bad hormone or this negative hormone. Cortisol is absolutely necessary. We need cortisol. It's good that cortisol comes out. It's there for survival. But when our blood sugar drops and we're constantly releasing cortisol because of this imbalance in our blood sugars and this roller coaster, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when it's going to start throwing off our other hormones like estrogen and progesterone. This imbalance is going to cause those PMS symptoms, those crazy cravings, the irregular periods, and all the other hormone-related symptoms you're experiencing. So you can't say, I need to balance my hormones and ignore sugar in your diet. Unstable blood sugars are going to leave you feeling drained, anxious, but unable to sleep. How many of you are having trouble sleeping? That waking up in the middle of the night, that's blood sugar dips. That's your body waking you up. When your blood sugar is unstable at night, it's going to mess with your sleep. You're going to wake up feeling tired and groggy the next day. And a night of bad sleep is also going to trigger a stress response and a glucose response in your body that next day. It's going to make you have more cravings for sugar and carbs. It's a battle that we are bringing upon ourselves. So in short, blood sugar impacts everything from your energy to your mood to your weight and your hormones. So keeping it stable is the key to feeling your best and really making your progress. What's a girl to do? What's a girl to do? Friend, we've been sitting on my couch or on my porch for a while. I know we've both got things to do, so let's wrap this up. Let's make it action-oriented, as I promised I would with my podcast and my episodes. One, it started with us having this conversation. So thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for having open ears and an open heart and an open mind for listening to me share with you how much I care and how much I'm concerned. And it is my hope that you begin understanding that this is an issue that most likely affects you and is something that needs to be taken seriously. The number one thing I wanted to do with this episode was to get you to think about blood sugar as a priority. So if I have accomplished that, cheers to me, kudos, pat on the back. But if you are now thinking blood sugar is a priority and you are someone who did not or does not think you have a blood sugar issue or an insulin issue, but you have symptoms of weight gain or weight loss resistance or mood swings, irritability, skin issues like acne, skin tags, melasma, rosacea, yeast infections or candida, brain fog, difficulty concentrating, fatigue, low energy, insomnia, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, cravings, intense hunger or unpredictable appetite, thyroid disorders, just to name a few. Geez Louise, I sound like a pharmaceutical commercial. But these are all very common things. Common, not normal. Just because so many people have these things, they are not normal. They are common. And these are things that I am seeing in my practice with my clients. Off the top of my head at this moment, I can't think of any clients who did not have some level of blood sugar imbalance at play. And it doesn't matter what brought them to see me. I'll tell you this, never ever has a client come to me asking me to help them balance their blood sugar. Hi, can you help me reduce my insulin? No one's ever asked me that. No one's ever come as their top priority to balance their blood sugar. Now, I've had plenty of diabetic clients wanting to come off insulin or metformin or get their numbers under control. But even then, balancing blood sugar is not the top request. That's not what they want help with the most. It's other stuff. It's the energy. It's the weight. It's the brain fog. It's not, hey, can you help me balance my blood sugar? That's not it. So that's how I know this is a problem that people are not thinking of addressing as significantly important to their health as being number one. So now speaking directly to my friends who might be feeling discouraged or defeated in the weight loss arena, I get it. It can be incredibly frustrating to feel like you're doing everything right most of the time and still not seeing the progress you deserve. I know, you're eating healthy, you're cutting down on sugar and carbs, yet the weight isn't budging. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna just give it to you real honest and straight here. When you're dealing with insulin resistance, consistency is absolutely essential. When your body is insulin resistant, it's like your cells aren't listening to insulin's message, so your body ends up producing more of it. High insulin levels make it really hard to burn fat, no matter how well you're eating most of the time. So if you're doing good in quotations, 80% of the time, if you're doing the 80-20 rule, those moments when you're more carefree, like indulging in a treat or a carb-heavy meal, if you have a cheat meal once a week, those moments can cause your blood sugar to spike, leading to more insulin production. This spike is effectively undoing the progress you have made. And it's just doing further damage in your body on this insulin blood sugar disease pathway. And that is just the straight truth. The key to reversing insulin resistance is to keep your blood sugar and insulin levels as stable, as consistently as possible. It's not about being perfect, but it's about creating a steady environment where your body can start to heal and become more responsive to insulin. This is what I do with my clients. I help them get to that point to where they can start healing. And then you can eventually start having a little more flexibility, but not until you're there. That's why even a small slip can feel like a bigger setback than it might for some people that don't have insulin resistance. One, stop comparing yourself to your friends or to people on the internet who seem to be able to eat it all and have no consequence. If you are someone who feels like you look at a loaf of bread and gain weight, there very well could be truth to that. It's not an over-exaggeration of your mind if this is going on in your body. Consistency is important. It is the foundation for turning things around and finally seeing the progress you've been working so hard for. How long have you been dieting and restricting only to binge or to then overindulge? And that's restrict, overindulge, restrict, overindulge, or restrict, cheat day, restrict, cheat day. If you've been doing that for years, I know I've done it for years, it's not working. It's not working for you. You have to try something else. The key to balancing your blood sugar and insulin isn't only about what you eat. Diet isn't the only thing. It's also about how you live. Becoming metabolically flexible is the real solution here. What does that even mean? Metabolic flexibility is the ability of your body to efficiently switch between using glucose, carbs, and fat for energy. It's just depending on what's available. It's being able to seamlessly go from sugar burning to fat burning and back and forth as your body and environment dictate. That is how we are designed. We are designed to have periods of fasting based on our environment and our seasons, where we are metabolically flexible, moving into our fat reserves. When you can do this, when you can adapt to different fuel sources, it's going to help keep everything stable. You'll have more stable blood sugar, more stable energy. It's going to be consistent. Metabolic inflexibility means that you're struggling to switch between these fuels. It's going to lead to those spikes and those crashes and difficulty losing weight. So developing metabolic flexibility is the key to managing blood sugar and supporting overall health, especially as we age. It means ultimately, finally, stepping off of that blood sugar roller coaster. I don't ever have to go on hang time again. Yay, me. We want to be able to use ketones, ketones are the byproduct of fat burning. Ketones are an energy source that can be a game changer for stabilizing blood sugar, reducing inflammation, helping your body heal and thrive. We will talk about all the incredible benefits of using ketones. This isn't about jumping on some fad diet. It's about aligning with your body's natural design and wisdom and working with your biology rather than against it. As we've discussed, blood sugar imbalances can be sneaky. They show up even when you think you're eating all the right things, but that's why it's so important to look at the bigger picture. You have to look at your stress levels, your physical activity, how your body's responding to that activity, and how your body is processing the food that you eat, because we're not all processing all of these things the same. And if you're wondering how blood sugar might be playing a role in your symptoms, again, I highly recommend using the Body Wisdom Journal or the NAC. You can download these things in the show notes. I have links for them there. Also in my Instagram bio, you can find links, and on my website. If you click the links that are in the show episode, right now it's going to take you to the website because I love technology. My links aren't working. So my website has links to those things. If you click on these links, it's not taking you directly to the NAC or directly to the Body Wisdom Journal. It's taking you to the page that has the details for getting those and the links for those. So in the next episode, we're going to dive deeper into how ketosis and metabolic flexibility can be powerful tools for healing and achieving a balanced, healthy lifestyle. But for now, I want you to take this with you. Balancing your blood sugar is foundational. It's the bedrock of feeling good, having stable energy, managing your hormones, and having a long, healthy life. So to really take control of your blood sugar, it's important to focus on specific actionable steps that you can incorporate into your daily routine. For instance, when we talk about blood sugar balancing, insulin-aware eating, this means focusing on meals that balance your macronutrients. Think of a plate filled with non-starchy veggies, healthy fats like avocado or olive oil, and a moderate portion of protein like chicken or fish or steak. Keeping carbs to a minimum and choosing those with a low glycemic index, look that up, but examples would be berries or even sweet potatoes. That can help stabilize your blood sugar. This is very similar to a Mediterranean diet. Timing is going to be another crucial aspect. Eating meals at consistent times each day. That can help prevent blood sugar spikes, and spacing them out evenly can also keep your energy levels stable. Try to only have 3 meals a day. Every time you are eating, you are provoking an insulin or glucose response. So minimize how often you're eating and just cut out the snacks. Have 3 satiating meals. Don't forget exercise. Go on a short walk after your meal. That can significantly improve your body's ability to manage blood sugar. If you do these things, it can make a big difference in how you feel day to day and help you maintain balanced blood sugars. I just had a client meeting today, a check-in call. She has been traveling. She's been doing a bunch of stuff. We're wrapping up summer. She has not been able to fully implement the dietary strategy I've laid out for her. But what she has been able to do is just have 3 meals, 3 consistent meals. That's all I told her to focus on. I said, yes, try to prioritize protein, but she is traveling all over. In some places, she had like 0 control over what she was eating. So all she did was eat 3 meals. Her next period, she had very minimal symptoms, PMS symptoms. That's one of her biggest struggles. And it was just having 3 meals a day, not even changing anything significant. This stuff is powerful, guys. It seems so simple. It's powerful. So you, friend, just remember you have the strength and the power to take control of your life. So let's start by getting off that roller coaster, embracing metabolic flexibility, and making choices that truly nourish and support your body. If this friendly chat resonated with you today, or you know a friend who could really use this girlfriend talk about blood sugar and hormones and taking control of their health, would you please share this episode with them? We all know someone who's struggling with the same things. And sometimes just hearing that they're not alone and that there are real solutions that can make a difference is so helpful. So send this episode their way. Let's support each other on this journey to feeling our best. We're not mean girls here. We lift each other up. We share this knowledge. So I thank you for joining me today. I'm looking forward to next week and to continuing this conversation and this journey with you. Ketogenic diets are one of my most favorite tools. It's a tool, you guys. It's not a forever. It's not a bread death sentence. It's a tool, and it is so powerful. So next week, we're diving into the amazing benefits of ketosis and how you can harness the power of it for your health. So I will close this out in a quick prayer, and then I will just see you next time. So thank you, and so long, friends. Until next week. All right. Oh, Heavenly Father, we just thank you for bringing us together today. I love that we have modern technology and the ability to connect with each other all over the world. And even though I was having a talk like these are my friends on the couch, they don't have to be on the couch. We can still build this relationship and build this trust. And so thank you for that. We acknowledge the challenges that we face, especially with the cravings and the struggles that come with sugar and the ups and downs it brings to our lives. Lord, we ask that you help us to redirect those cravings, and not just for physical bread, but to seek your daily bread, your word that truly sustains and nourishes us. Teach us to lean on you for strength and to find satisfaction in your word and your truth, and knowing that your love is more fulfilling than anything this world can offer. I pray that you guide us to make choices that honor the bodies you've given us, and also that we remember that you are our ultimate source of energy and peace and well-being. And may your presence be our true sustenance. May we walk in your wisdom and your grace each day. Bless us as we go forward, and let us always remember that we are not alone in this journey. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening to Real Health Transformations. I hope this episode met you where you are and helped you cut through the noise, maybe get a little closer to the real practical solutions you've been looking for. Remember, everything shared here is for education and for inspiration, not medical advice. I am not your doctor. I am a podcast host. I am your encouraging digital friend. Always do what is right for you and consult a trusted healthcare provider before making any big changes. If you loved what you heard today, please subscribe, share with a friend, and let's keep having the conversations that matter without the fluff. Find me on Instagram. Let's keep this conversation going and keep questioning things. Keep finding what works for you. You've got this. I'll see you next time.